but essentially I've been doing it all by myself. And let's see. So first we have the second village that I made. This is the outhouse that was nearby. You'll notice I made a snow roof. Don't put torches near it, it melts. Little farm for shit. Underneath the ice, there's actually a dungeon down here. I don't know what the fuck it was for, but I ended up exploring down there. I won't go down there because if you've seen one dungeon, you've seen them all. One here. And here we have Spruce Hills, which currently has a population of 7. I'm not sure that's actually accurate because a lot of these guys tend to die. Heads fabulous armor. Most of these guys I brought over from a bigger village I have nearby because I've decided to build entire villages from scratch, which I've done here. I've cleared out most of the thing. These houses aren't too interesting yet. Let's see, we have blacksmiths, a couple apartments. These are literally just places for the villagers to live and breed. Another house. This one leads to another dungeon down the way. But again, I won't show you that because that's not the interesting stuff I want to show here. Get in here. Right, so that's Spruce Hills. That's the smaller of the two villages that I'm building. And connecting the two is this long ass railroad, which makes transporting the villagers, in particular, between them a lot more simpler. That chicken has been sitting there for I don't know how long. And here we have the biggest village that I was. This one took the most time. Train station in between. Here we have my foresting area. Oh, look, a baby villager. They like to make their own. Hey, here we have my foresting area for any amount of wood that you'd ever need. And here we have, I think they're empty right now. Nope. The idea being that, sure, wood's great, but coal is even better. Fill these up, send them on their way. Through the forest. Jack-o'-lanterns keep this place pretty well lit for creepers and such coming up. And it brings it up into here, and this thing will always have fresh fuel waiting for you. The things dump off their supplies, you send them back, and there you go. You got a system for generating coal. Nearby, this is actually the outskirts of the village, we have the woodcutters area for all things wood. For outside. This is where you come for your wood supplies. I've collected pretty much every kind of wood that I would think useful. Here we have my farm. Inside each one of those crates is items that you need to breed the many versions. Probably heard that creeper, but I think he's down near the underground here. He's never an issue. So yeah, that's the lumberjack's house, or farmhouse I should say. But back into the village proper. I still haven't named it. If anyone comes up with one. So we have here the well. Ted Memorial Garden. Ted was, this used to be a village, but eventually it got, I don't know, we used it, and it got destroyed by, it got invaded by zombies. A friend of mine were there, and Ted was the only guy that managed to live. For a brief time, anyway. There's my, as you say, nether portal. Nether Gate Temple. Anyway, Ted was the last one to survive. The only one that managed to live, and he liked to hang out in my house that I built here. Fort Kick-Ass. That's why the steel door is there, to keep villagers from wandering in. Here we have a self-contained little greenhouse, if you didn't like hanging out with the villagers. But eventually Ted did get himself killed. I'm not sure how. I think he was by a door, and the zombie busted in and murdered him. He turned and I had to kill him. It was very sad. That's Ted Memorial for him. So, as you can see, many villagers wandering around. Okay. Horse dead. But probably the pride and joy of this world is in here in the grocers. These things are all dispensers, and will obviously dispense whatever you want. But baked potatoes are what's really interesting, because you'll notice it regenerated more potatoes. And it does that by, let's go out here, I've built a dispenser and a bunch of funnels. And while the back here doesn't look all that great, essentially this is where you stock the shelves. And the greatest thing is here, you put the coal in this chest, you put the clean potatoes in the top one, and in here it constantly generates baked potatoes, which funnel down into the bottom. And if we head down here, this is kind of the residential area of the villagers. And last count I had, there was 30 odd villagers wandering around in this area. It comes and goes as I accidentally kill them and move them off into other areas. But yeah, essentially, we have the fountain that is at Town Square. Different shops. Farmer. This little pit here is literally for, oh look, there's still one in there. Outside into that pit is outside the village walls, and when I bring, you'll probably, I've already seen one kicking around somewhere. There it is. These iron golems, they're a good source of iron, even if you don't. The way this is built is I literally don't have to go into any digging and dunging in mines. Bit fucked up. Conventional. That is the church. Our Lady Mana House of Worship. We also have the Repudious Public Library. This took some time to build. I mostly stole it from other villagers and stuff. That guy's been stuck there a while too. Enchanting table. The Martin Animal Sanctuary. Do you know how many of the animals in there? That's been reproducing for a while. But it's with this guy. And let's see here. Mine shaft, it literally goes right down to the bedrock with a couple other levels. That has yet to be fully explored. The Lonely Guy Fishing Hut. If you were so inclined, this place stays pretty safe during the night. You can just sit out here on the porch, on the deck, and fish. And if we go to this train station, This was originally designed in order to send supplies back and forth between my village and another village that a friend of mine started. Well, he wanted to build a giant tower. So the idea was this was my section and his section is quite a ways away. And we can take that tree. This one's kind of long haul because see on the map. Let's see if you can see where we are. He is pretty much at the water up at the north. That's okay, it's not a terrible turn. Go. Oh wait, goes back. Forgot how this worked. That. Send it back on this way. No! Fudge. Fortunate to hit the other one. Now, normally you'd hop on this and it would just take you the whole way. There's a powered rail, I think, every 30, so I don't have to do anything but sit and enjoy the ride. So, essentially, when we get there, the loot chest, the chest with the minecart will already be there. The idea is you can fill the chest up with whatever and just send it off. Oh, we passed another section there. I'll show in a bit, but it's literally a giant pyramid that I built. That shows up on the map, it's so big. That's interesting. Never seen it do that. Anyway. So, we got a stables for... That was before the actual railroad was put in. You take a horse over. This is where my buddy was planning to build. It didn't really take off just yet, but he was planning to build into this mountain and build a giant castle of sorts. Oh, I should see here. I built that train station. And here was his bedroom. I'm not sure what I called it. It was like sand castle or something. It's one of my currently unfinished projects because it's a massive undertaking and it requires a lot of sandstone. Which sometimes you just get bored of. Easy. So this desert pretty much is center of mine and his. And here we have the massive pyramid that I undertook. It's entirely hollow, but it does have its own kind of secret passageway being built into it. And at the bottom, because it's dark enough, it likes to spawn creepers, as well as skeletons and a bunch of other stuff. But this is the interior. of said pyramid. I'm hoping to complete it and have the path go all the way, like an entrance at the top, and then down into the bottom of it. There's going to be an entrance to another mine. I don't know what's under there. I don't think there's anything particularly interesting, but that's the game, right? Head down, see what's there. So as it stands, I'm literally just building the, yeah, this was going to be like some sort of throne room of sorts. And then here's the entrance to said tunnel. Whee! I wonder if it's turn nighttime. It's been so long, I don't know where to go. So it is. No reason to travel by day, by night. Blaming zombie. Originally, the village, the large village that I made, I had to, it was pretty much a death march from where the original village was to my new village that I was going to build. And I started out with maybe 10 of them, but maybe 5 made it back because they all got killed by the me themselves, drowned. Random misadventure. As you can see here, this is part of the tunnel that I used to transport them. Must have been like a quarter of the way across the map. It's crazy. That was a massive undertaking. Just to get the ones that I did get there. But it was worth it because now the village has like 30 villagers running around. 2 iron golems. You can see in the distance the lava pillar. Acts as a waypoint so you don't get lost. Back at the lumberjack village. Horse. What the hell are chickens doing in there? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Get out of here. Here we have the massive farms. Potatoes, carrots, just as big as you can make them. Don't often see villagers hanging around here using my shit. There's like a bunch of wheat right there. Yeah, this was a new extension I built for more villagers. This village has become pretty much a town at this point. Yeah, it's hard to think these started with 5 people. All these shrines. As I said, last count was 25, 30 of them? Right around. And hell, there's even still babies. Somewhere. There was one. I saw that. Oh, there's one. There he is. Always room for more priests. Yep. That is my village that I built more or less from scratch. I don't have a stable there. Let's see what else build on. So, that's all the interesting stuff I built. Hope you enjoyed it.